Imagine this scene. An American guest is at a dinner in Beijing. The friendly Chinese host cheerfully asks, "How much money do you make?" The American nearly spits out his tea. Personal income is private. Meanwhile, the host's smile freezes when the American casually jokes about the host's loud shirt in front of everyone. Embarrassing someone publicly just made the host lose face. Both men are shocked for different reasons, and the room falls into an awkward silence. Talk about a cultural misunderstanding. Why did this happen? Why do Americans value privacy so fiercely, while Chinese people care so much about face? Saving face and avoiding shame. These two concepts are like social night and day, and they influence everything from daily etiquette to how societies work. Today, we'll dive into the fascinating differences between these two social norms and what they reveal about our cultures. By the end, you'll understand why your foreign friends always behave in such strange ways. Stay tuned. First, let's look at privacy in the US. On the surface, Americans seem almost obsessed with personal space and privacy. Do you know someone who locks their diary with an actual padlock to keep nosy siblings out? Every 90s American teen movie ever, right? Many Americans grow up with the idea that you should knock before entering someone's room. We put passwords on our phones, get angry about companies tracking our data, and even sue each other over peeking at private information. Ever heard of celebrity lawsuits against paparazzi for snapping private photos? Now, hop over to China and the concept of face. Here, the priorities flip. Privacy in the personal space sense is often less emphasized. You might find grannies in China asking you ridiculously personal questions at first meeting. Are you married? How much do you earn? Why no kids yet? They're not being nosy by Chinese standards. It's just their way of being caring or polite. Many Westerners are stunned by this, thinking, did they really just ask my salary? But the concept of face, mianzi, is everywhere. Face is all about reputation, honor, and avoiding embarrassment. For example, imagine you're at a Chinese family gathering. Your aunt loudly praises your cousin's new job in front of everyone. She's giving him face, thus boosting his social standing. Then she turns to you and says, "So, still no promotion this year?" Oof, face lost. In China, people go to great lengths to avoid public embarrassment. A Chinese friend might refuse a gift multiple times before accepting to appear humble. Classmates might hesitate to ask questions in class so they don't seem ignorant in front of others. And if you accidentally humiliate someone publicly, expect crickets and a very uncomfortable atmosphere, as if you dropped a fragile vase on the floor. Never cause someone to lose face, or you lose face too. But where do these differences come from? Let's dig deeper. To really get why privacy and face hold such power, we need to explore some history and social structures. It turns out these norms didn't appear out of thin air. They evolved over centuries due to very different philosophies and ways of life. Ready for a quick trip through time and society? History has a lot to say about these habits. In China, one huge influence was Confucianism, the teachings of Confucius, around 2,500 years ago. Confucius emphasized hierarchy, respect, and each person knowing their role in society. According to Confucian ideals, maintaining harmony and honor in your relationships is paramount. If you dishonored your family or community, it was a really big deal. For generations, people in China learned that your actions reflect on your whole group, not just you. So avoiding shame, losing face, and bringing honor, saving or giving face, became social survival skills. Imagine a small village hundreds of years ago. If Farmer Lee's son messed up publicly, the whole Lee family might get a bad reputation. Nobody wants to trade with a family that has no honor, right? So everyone, from emperors to everyday folks, learned to preserve face as if it were gold. This focus on collective reputation sunk deep into the culture. Individual privacy, by contrast, wasn't a top priority historically. Many generations often lived together under one roof, and personal space was a luxury. Life was more about the collective than the individual. Meanwhile, in the United States, a very different history set the stage for valuing privacy. The U.S. was heavily influenced by Enlightenment ideas. Fast forward to a few hundred years ago. Many Americans lived spread out on farms or the frontier, cherishing their independence. The idea that a man's home is his castle took root, meaning your home, and by extension your personal life, is a protected domain where others, especially the government, shouldn't meddle. The young American nation even wrote concepts of personal freedom into its DNA. Think freedom of speech, religion, and protection from unreasonable searches. Nobody rifling through your stuff without permission. Basically, respect my rights and my space became a point of pride. Over time, this grew into the strong privacy ethic we see today. Legal and social systems also reinforce these values. In the U.S., laws and norms double down on individual privacy. There are constitutional rights to protect individuals from intrusion. For example, if someone steals your personal data or spies on you, you bet there are legal consequences. Remember that unforgettable moment in Enemy of the State when Will Smith's character, Robert Clayton Dean, confronts relentless government surveillance, boldly insisting, "I have a right to my privacy." In China, there are privacy laws, especially with modernization. Laws are catching up. But traditionally, society relied more on unwritten rules of respect and hierarchy than courtroom showdowns. The social system was built on relationships, guanxi, and obligations. Instead of, "I'll sue you," a Chinese approach was more like, "Let's not upset the harmony here." For example, if a neighbor's kid breaks your window, an American might call the police or insist the neighbor pay for it. Privacy, property, individual rights. A Chinese person might handle it through the relationship, gently talking to the neighbor, solving it within the community, saving face for everyone involved rather than making it a public legal issue. Public shaming, like someone yelling at a wrongdoer in the street, is avoided because it causes loss of face for everyone watching. The law in China has historically been less about individual rights and more about maintaining order and social harmony. In imperial times, laws were strict, but the ideal was that people behave so you don't have to use the law. Even today, there's a saying in China, "The shot that hits the bird is the one that pokes its head out," meaning don't stand out in a way that invites trouble or embarrassment. Every Chinese proverb comes with its own amusing historical tale. If you're curious, drop a comment and I'll put together an episode exploring these stories. But here's the exciting part. Globalization is blending these norms. Younger Chinese are starting to demand more privacy, from personal bedroom space to online data protection. It's not so odd now for a Chinese teenager to say, "Mom, knock before you come in." Yes, that's a thing in some households now. Meanwhile, many Americans are becoming more socially conscious and aware of face. For instance, workplace diversity and inclusion movements emphasize respecting others' dignity, and even on social media, Americans worry about their image. A form of face, if you think about it. We're learning from each other. The world is getting more interconnected, and people pick up new values. Today, we explored how Chinese face culture and American privacy culture are expressed, delved into the historical and legal reasons behind them, and even took a look at the current and future shifts. Remember, whether it's privacy or face, we all just want a little respect. So, what do you think? Have you ever experienced a bit of culture shock regarding privacy or face-saving customs? Maybe you felt weird when a colleague from China kept refusing your compliment. They were being polite, honestly. Share your stories in the comments. If you want to learn more about the cultural differences between China and the United States, please like and subscribe. See you next time.